and Renee from Redline Property Inc. I met you guys about 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
It would have been, Val's like, why am I repeating myself? My mic fell.
Before Christmas.
Yeah, it was
because
before
that's when things
Christmas.
started to get really crazy.
Yeah, so we decided to partner because I felt Brantford was an up-and-coming city. We talked about numbers, we were going through numbers, but before we even get into the nitty-gritty of numbers, Brantford versus Hamilton, why don't we talk about what you both offer your clients? What's different from you guys to other real estate agents? Control the F-bombs, please. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness.
I'm joking.
Stop making us look bad. What makes us different is we work together, and it's been almost 2 years since we started. And since we started working together, it's been so much easier for not only ourselves because we have to balance our personal life, but also for our clients because they have access to someone at all times. So whether someone's available, if I'm away on vacation or Renee's on vacation, the other person is always here. Unless we're in Las Vegas.
Together.
Unless we're in Vegas together.
I want to touch upon because you guys are awesome. Like I think I first started watching you guys but Val, we knew each other before when I was pregnant.
I think like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
now.
it's been a while, but I started watching your videos, and I think the one video that sticks out, and we're gonna get a little bit of a clip of that, was the one at the farm.
I think
there
it's
was
one
this
of our
part.
favorites.
It's because Renee was with her people.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, my people. They ended up being Val's in the end.
I know, but honestly, that video, let's talk about what you guys wanted to capture in that video on the farm, because like the animals and it was really funny.
Well, it's a different listing. You don't get a listing like that all the time. It's so unique. So
Yeah.
we just wanted to play off of the surroundings.
And be us.
Yeah, and that was hilarious.
What you see is what you get. It's no different whether we're on camera, in person. It's exactly how we are at all times.
Yeah.
And it works for some, but I guess it doesn't always work for everyone. It's just we're not going to change who we are
Yeah.
just to do business.
No, for sure. So let's touch upon numbers. And you were just telling me numbers right now, Brantford versus Hamilton. It's really not that far off. Like, is Brantford now up and coming? Like, what's going on with Brantford's market?
So our market's really changed in the last couple of years. We actually did a video back last spring, and it was an article in Money Sense. And it was about Brantford being the place to invest your money. And we've been seeing this trend happen for a couple of years now, but it's really been in the last, I'd say, 8 months that we've seen a huge influx, especially investors looking to come this way because they have their properties in the GTA. However, they can't accumulate anymore. So they're trying to divest and then repurchase in Brantford, where they can either purchase more or they can change their portfolio entirely and go into a commercial property.
That's amazing. So what does commercial properties look like in Brantford?
There's not as much of an abundance in Brantford. If you're looking at multi-res, there is multi-res, but often we get, okay, so what's the cap on a high-rise? Well, we don't have it. We don't have high-rise buildings. We do have mixed-use buildings available. There is a lot of demand. There's a lot of demand for that, especially in our downtown core. There's been a lot of demand for commercial in the downtown Brantford core.
Nice. So what does your package look like, say, when you're meeting a client? What does that look like? Let's talk about a listing appointment.
Yeah.
Because that makes you guys very different. So
what they're going to get is, we sit down, we go through the house. We let them talk to us about the house. We do the listening. Surprisingly, I'm not all about the talk. I do listen.
Renee's like, yes.
I'm an excellent listener. I swear. You can ask my husband.
I love it.
So we sit down and we find out really what's their motivation for having us there.
Perfect.
What's important to them and what are they trying to seek out of this whole transaction, because at the end of the day, it's not about us. We've outlined this in previous videos. It's about them and their home and making sure we get the home in front of the buyers.
Once we go through and we tour the home, and again, Val's listened.
I love it.
We also have a booklet with a process with different steps to help them just do a few things to the home to get it ready and get
I like that. So you give tips.
job.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we bring in a stager. really depends on the seller. Sometimes a seller isn't as interested in having someone else come into the home. But for us, it's important because they might see something that we don't and that the seller doesn't see. And it's all about making sure the home shows the best
Nice.
to the
That's
buyers.
amazing.
So we do that. We go through that, and then we go through our marketing plan on how we're going to get your home in front of the eyeballs of all of these buyers who are looking for properties right now.
That's amazing.
And that's where the videos come into play.
Okay, these videos are amazing. We're gonna do little clips. We are, Colin. We've got to do clips because the video, that farm video, is amazing. So I never laughed so hard. But I did want to ask Brantford as a whole. I know when I met you guys, I went in and I was like, wow, Brantford's not too appealing. And Renee, you jumped in. You were like, well, Brantford's different. Like, there's different pockets, right? Do we want to explain? Because I know with me, even when I said it here to Aaron, who's out in the Brantford market, he's like, no, there's really good pockets. I don't know if I was just in a different pocket of Brantford, but you said there's different pockets of Brantford. Can you explain those pockets in Brantford?
Well, I'll talk about maybe Eagle Place a little.
Yeah.
It's such an older neighborhood, but it is somewhat up and coming. A lot of investors picking up these properties, doing quick flips.
Amazing.
And then, of course, listing them. Or you have investors picking them up and then just leasing them out. You hold on to it for a while.
Nice.
Don't put any money into it yet, and then when it comes time, do the flip.
That's amazing. So 2018, what did that look like, girls, for you?
2018 was a transition.
Yeah.
Because there were some changes in rules happening in the mortgage aspect, which you've touched on so many times.
Yeah.
And that brought a lot of buyers down in purchasing power.
Yeah.
You know, rates went up, stress tests. So obviously the buyer's purchasing power changed. So then we had to change how we did things as the market changed.
Nice.
But we did see a huge influx in investors looking to purchase in Brantford.
Nice.
That's the biggest change.
So what do you see? So Renee, your opinion on 2018, how did that look like for you?
2018. It definitely, you know what, it was strong in the beginning. It was a good start, and then it dwindled.
Yeah,
Really
that's
dwindled.
where the rules just took into
Yes.
effect, and they were honoring about up to 4 months. They were honoring 2017 rules.
Buyers were getting discouraged.
That's right.
You know, they get frustrated with us, and it's like, you know, we can only do so much. We don't have the ultimate say. But we knew it was coming. It had to come.
Yeah.
I mean, we had X amount of years of such a strong market. Eventually, there was going to have to be a slight correction. I don't think it was a massive correction.
Not much.
But
yeah.
it was definitely, you know, let's be honest, how many times did you hear agents say, well, we just put a sign on the lawn and it sold the next day?
That doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
It's just,
no.
that changed.
It changed big time.
You
Yeah.
have to go to how we used to do things is marketing the home, doing the open houses, inviting the buyers in. And that's something that's became really strong, especially going towards the end of 2018.
For sure. So let's talk about numbers. What did I'll let you take the mic on that one. Numbers for Brantford, and we're going to do Hamilton as a whole, right?
Yeah.
So we do have Hamilton as a whole. So what did that look like, Val?
So Hamilton, the average you're looking at about just over 500,000, and in Brantford you're just under 450.
See, that's not bad. Brantford was never that high. Am I wrong about that? Let's talk about 4 years ago.
It's gone up. It has
amazing.
gone up drastically. 4 years ago, you know, townhomes were selling in the 200s.
So I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, we did a new build together.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did a new build together. That was just over like 300, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy for me for Brantford. So it's good to know though. So 2019, ladies, what does that look like for you?
A lot of work.
Yep, we're suiting up. We're ready.
Yeah, it's interesting because they announced the rate. They're lowering rates,
Yeah.
and everyone else is going to follow suit.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see how that's going to affect buyers and what that's going to mean if the rate goes down just a bit more. How does that increase what they're good? Like, how does that lower their mortgage every month?
So let's talk about the rate decrease. So RBC lowered their rate by maybe 1.5%. In December, normally what happens is in December, the rates go a little bit higher, right? So our monoline lenders, they have steady rates. So their rate was already, I could get a 3.84. You went to RBC or Scotia, you got a 3.99. As soon as the top bank lowers their rate, they literally just matched our monoline lenders. So when people are like, the rates are dropping, I'm like, they literally just restructured the rate for January, right? So I found it a little bit odd because, you know, I went to Dee and I'm like, Dee, what was, because Dee does the business, right? So I'm like, Dee, what was First National offering, right? 3.84. And I'm like, so RBC just went down to 3.84. So they made a big announcement because they're one of the top 5 banks. So, when people ask me, what's your thoughts on the rates falling, I'm very nil about it. I'm like, you know what? They're really just matching our monoline lenders. Like they were up in December, like Scotia was up drastically. And so like they weren't even competing. And then they just dropped the rates. They just literally matched our monoline lenders. So were we using the banks in December? We weren't. I wasn't funneling any business to them. So I just find it odd that once a bank, makes the announcement, everybody has a heart attack. I'm like, they literally just matched. So people are saying, why aren't you posting on your, because I just don't want to post about rates, right? Like dropping, right? So we just do, we don't, and we haven't even posted, I don't even think we posted about RBC dropping the rates. Because the banks are literally in January, they're just matching every other lender out there.
And from like an agent's perspective, in real estate, as soon as there's an announcement, it's a chance to reach out to your database
and you're right.
Your buyers,
it's a misconception, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing that it works for you guys. And all my agents are like, can you post something about it? I'm like, no. No, because I'm like, you don't want me to post about it, just because I can't post. I can't run with the propaganda. I'm like, I'm not going to run with this propaganda. I'm just gonna like. If you ask my opinion, I'll tell you my opinion, but that's as far as it goes.
And it's interesting because we were involved on a call yesterday.
Yeah.
And basically the consensus was that the U.S. market was going to be a strong, balanced market, but that the Canadian market in the spring is going to turn into a seller's market. And we're like,
wow.
We don't know for sure. There's no crystal ball, but this is,
It's tough because there's so much uncertainty in the economy. There's so many things happening in the world that's affecting decisions that are made by the Bank of Canada. We don't know what's going to happen.
You really don't. You don't know, because that's just like when everybody said, your business is going to drop by 20%. My personal business, so not my team, my personal business went up 40%. So, I can't say, the changes to the stress test. We educated our buyers. We literally came out strong. When people were saying, don't do social media, Carm, you're wasting your money, I was like, you know what, I am going to do social media so people understand what's going on. So, I think it's just honestly offering the right information to our clients. I think 2009, and that's why we partnered. And I said, you know what, I want to partner with you guys because you guys are so straightforward and you want to offer the right information to your clients. And I was like, you know what, this is a great pair. You know what I mean? It's going to work.
The most challenging thing for buyers, it's not anyone who already owns an existing home. Because when you own that equity, you have so much you can do. You can either pull the equity to refinance, or you can sell your primary
100%.
res for another home, or you can pull that to purchase an investment. It's the
100%,
first
you're
time
right.
buyers. That's who took the biggest hit.
Big time.
Because it's affecting what they can do, and they're coming to the realization. We just did a transaction in December where they didn't get what they ultimately wanted, but they got in.
It wasn't a 2017 market to do that.
And keep
Right?
in mind
That's
as
what's
well. I mean,
Yeah,
and we're
that's
seeing a
not
lot.
gonna happen.
Mom and dad's helping out.
You're
A
right.
lot of co-signing. This is the norm now.
Number
The
one
norm
question.
is that is the norm. You're right.
It's just so they
Number
can
one
obtain a
question.
home.
Because your
Yeah.
payment is not real. Like they're using for the stress test a 2 percentile higher, right? Payment. So that's crazy. So when I'm explaining to mom and dad, when I'm sitting with them, I'm like, you have to understand your kids. If I take this 2% away, your kids can qualify for this amount. So I wouldn't put your children in something that is not what they can qualify for. So it's been hard on our side because we've had to go through 4 meetings. You first meet with the first time buyers, you realize they can't afford it, then they bring mom and dad forward, mom or dad, and then you have to sit with them and explain to them the pre-approval process. It's been double the work for us with the same pay. right? So essentially, you know, it's a lot of work, but I honestly believe if the mortgage broker and the real estate agents on side, and they understand, and the lawyer, I would say even the lawyer, because we had a case where Dee wanted to bring this forward. This is going to be our next segment, but the lawyer said to my buyer, they were a first-time buyer, and they were like, well, why aren't you doing 25-year amortization? Why are you doing 30? Right? So the buyer comes back to me 2 days before closing. He's like, I'd like to change my amortization to 25 years. And he's making a big stink about it, yelling at Dee. So I got it. I intervened, and I said, Dee, you know what? Let me handle this. And I said, okay, no problem. We'll put you on a 25-year. However, that brings your purchase power down to $50,000. So then I called the lawyer and I said, you know, sometimes it's best that you stay out of the mix. You know, we're not doing things that are harmful for our clients. We're getting them into the home that they need to be in. So that's why, you know, it's honestly, when it comes to your real estate agent, when it comes to your lawyer, when it comes to your mortgage, you guys should all be collaborating together. And we just did a post on collaboration because this is 2019. If we don't help each other, we're going to get, you know, we're going to lose deals, right? And so this year is going to be more about collaboration.
And we've taken an interesting approach in the last, I think the last 3 new buyers we've taken on is we've actually said we're going to have Carmen contact you. Because for us, if we're all looking at the best interests, we need to assume that control. Because especially first-time buyers, they don't know what's going on, or they have 3 people in their ears telling them what they need to be doing, and they're sitting there confused, and everyone's just spinning their wheels.
You're right. You're 100% correct.
So if they're going to trust us to do what we know best, we're going to have the right professionals call you that are going to fit with you and are going to get you the products that you need. So at the end, you're getting the home that you want. You don't want to be disappointed.
No, you don't. And it's just scary. Just that one little information that the lawyer fed him, like, just caused so much mayhem in that person's life for nothing. And I essentially said, do you remember our initial first meeting when I qualified you? I said, unfortunately, I have to qualify you on a 30-year. I don't want you to have this for 30 years. But unfortunately, I got to get you in this house. Like, you want to be a home buyer, right? So I have to get you in this house. Our 30-year amortization's what everybody's using now? Yes. Like, unfortunately, yes, because we're trying to get you through this stress test. You know, I don't think people understand when you're qualifying at a 2% higher. So let's say, for instance, the rate I'm giving you is 369. I have to qualify you at 569. A payment of 569. That's essentially a $200 more payment. Like, it's crazy, and people don't see it. They're like, oh, no, it does. But I'm like, when I draft it out and I write it out and I show them 369 versus 569, this is ludicrous. Like, you're getting
the mortgage on our first house.
Like,
and we thought that was great.
I know. But I honestly am so glad that we did partner. I'm so glad I went out for that lunch. It was well worth it. Val, Renee, I want to thank you guys for coming in and talking to us. Any last words you guys want to say?
Thank you for having us.
And we're ready for 2019. Let's do this.
Big time. All right. Thank you so much for coming in, girls.